regular basis.
Why not? Isn't that what we're here for? Hearing and chanting, Shravanam, Kirtanam.
Yes.
Not only hearing others sing, we also have to sing.
Could you take Mridanga maybe?
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's improving.
Давай не подставляй.
Thank you, Gurudev. Gauranga bolite habe pulaka sharira.
No, it's too low. It's too low.
Gauranga bolita habe.
No, that's too low. Gauranga bolite habe. That note. Because if you start
I fast. I do fast.
What?
I fast quickly. I think fast. Yes.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about because for this melody, it goes down very low. Like if I start Gauranga balite habe pulaka sharira hari hari bolite. It's too low for us to be able to sing, you see. So you have to start. That's one of the most important things for any person who's leading the kirtan, is to start on a note. What do you call it?
Note.
A particular note in which everyone can sing. Because some people's voices are low, some people's voices are high. So you have to find the exact note that will start the kirtan, and then everyone can sing. Panimayash.
Gauranga bolite habe pulaka sharira hari hari bolite.
See, it's too low. See, this is exactly what I'm saying. Is it's too low. It's too low.
I can do only like this.
No. I'm gonna show you. Okay, you started singing again. What?
Gauranga
Okay,
bolite.
Gauranga. That's the note that you began on. Gauranga bolite habe pulaka sharira hari hari. See, it's too low. So now all you have to do is go up. Go. Gauranga bolite habe. You start on that note, okay? Do.
Gauranga bolite habe pulaka sharira hari hari bolite yane babinira.
Bolo.
Gauranga bolite habe pulaka sharira hari hari bolite yane babinira. Araka binitai chander aibe
Araka binitai chander karuna hoibe samsara vasana mora tuchhare. Bolo. Arka binitai chander karuna hoibe samsara vasana mora kabe tuchhare. Vishaya chaniya
kabe Shudhaha bimana Hama Bhirao Shri Vrindavanam Vishaya Chagiya Kabe
Shuddha Bhiman Kabe Hamahirabo Shri Vrindavanam
Rupa Raghunatha Pade Haibe Akuti Kabe Hamabuja Boshe Yogala Piriti
Raghunatha Pade
Haibe Akuti Kabe Hamabuja Boshe Yogala
Piriti
Raghunatha Pade Rahumora Asha
Raghunatha Pade
Rahumora Asha
Prarthana karo ye sada
Narottamadasan
Rupa Raghunatha Pade Rahumorayasha Prarthana karo ye sada Narottamadasan Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Ramo Hare Ramo 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare
Radhe Radhe
Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govinda
Govinda Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe
Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe
Radhe Radhe
Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe
Radhe Radhe
Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe
Radhe Radhe
Govinda
Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe Radhe
Radhe Govinda Govinda Jai
Oh Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna Hare 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 Ram
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva
Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Gurudeva Shila Gurudeva
Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Shila Prabhupada
Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada
Prabhupada Shila Prabhupada
Jaya Nitai Jaya Gaur Jaya Nitai Jaya Gaur
Jaya Nitai Jaya Gaur Jaya Nitai Jaya Gaur
Nitai Gaur Hari
Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol
Nitai Gaur Hari Bol
Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol
Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol
Nitai Gaur Hari Bol.
Now you say
Nitai Gaur Primanande Hari Hari Bol Nitai Gaur
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jutaha Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Bande Shri Gurun Dinatadanam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabhadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gaura Tvishe Namah Nityanandam Namastubhyam Prema Ananda Pradayane Kalo Kalamashanashaya Chanava Pataye Namaha Ajanulambita Pujo Kanakavadato Samkirtanaika Pitaro Kamalaya Taksho Vishwambaro Dvijavaro Yugadharma Palo Pande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vrindai Tulsi Debai Priyai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachai Namo Nama Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. First of all, I'm offering my unlimited Dandavat pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable, beloved Gurudev Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Sri Shila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. Then I'm offering my same unlimited Dandavat pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Siksha Gurudevs, Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa, Ashtatara Sata Sri Shila, Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, and Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa, Ashtatara Sata Sri Shila, Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. I offer my Dandavat pranams at the lotus feet of all of my Shri Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga and my Siksha Guru Varga. And I offer my Dandavat pranams to all of the Vaishnavas and to all of the Vaishnavis. So we are reading the book that is describing Gurudev's lectures in Badger, California for 1 week, and that was in the year, I think it was 1999. It's in the preface, and he gave this series of lectures which he desired that they should be made into a book. After he gave those lectures, then he said, I want these lectures to be made into a book. And then the book was given the title, The Secret Truths of the Bhagavatam. So the book is about the Srimad Bhagavatam and what is in the Srimad Bhagavatam, but how to understand the deepest and the most secret truths that are in the Srimad Bhagavatam. You know, Bhagavad Gita, if we read the introduction of the Bhagavad Gita by Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and also a preface by Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj, they're describing there that in the Bhagavad Gita there are 5 levels of knowledge. One is called confidential knowledge, because Bhagavad Gita is not dealing with ordinary, mundane knowledge. So this is a knowledge that is more confidential than most people know. And what is that level of knowledge? Atma-gyan. And everything pertaining to Atma-gyan. To know knowledge of the self. Most people have no idea who they are. No, most people have no idea that they've been in the cycle of birth and death, going through millions of species of life since time immemorial. Because why? Because Maya Devi covers the jivas so that they completely forget each lifetime and how they have been suffering for millions of lives. Why does that happen? Because Krishna wants to give the opportunity of freedom to the jivas to do what they want. But there's consequences. If you want to do what you want in this universe, the universe is set up in a certain way that you'll have to pay back. You'll have to pay fines along the way. You'll have to become indebted, and then you have to go to prison. So, what the first level is Atmagyan, confidential knowledge. Then comes the next level, more confidential knowledge. Then comes the next level, the most confidential knowledge. And then comes the next level, the most confidential of the most confidential knowledge. 4 levels. Maybe there's another one I'm forgetting, but at any rate, point is that we are entering into this process in which we gradually will have to become qualified to hear and to understand and to enter into the deep, deep and deepest of the confidential knowledge given in our Gaudiya Guru Parampara. This is essential, otherwise we will not be able to advance properly. We will not be able to advance on this pathway unless we try to go deep. It is not for persons who are external. And that is why Anyabhilashita Shunyam verse is given by Rupa Goswami. Because unless somebody actually endeavors to follow this process and gradually to rid his heart of anarthas and materialistic desires and tendencies, unless someone does that, they will not be able to properly advance, and they will not be able to get out, first of all, just to even escape from the cycle of birth and death. But the objective is not that. That is not our objective, mukti. Our objective is bhakti. Our objective ultimately is Krishna Prem, the ultimate goal of life for all living entities, for all jivas, because the jivas are by nature servants of Krishna. So if you want to be an eternal servant of Krishna, you have to attain Krishna Prem, love for Krishna, otherwise you cannot. So the jivas in this world who come to this pathway of bhakti as given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as given by Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, all of the Vedic literatures, those jivas are very, very fortunate, and now they have an opportunity to go step by step, by step by step, gradually, gradually to advance. And if we are not advancing, that's a problem. What does that problem mean? Gurudev generally says there's a loophole. You know loophole? He uses the term loophole, but it means that there's like, for example, if you have a big jug of water, but there's a tiny little pinprick hole, then gradually that jug of water will go down, 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 down. You see. So this whole process of bhakti yoga as given to us, it is a very amazing process, and the books that have been given to guide us along this pathway are the most amazing books. We should become acquainted with them if we really want to be successful in this very lifetime. Being successful means what? What does it mean to be successful in this lifetime? It means that you advance on the pathway of bhakti. You go forward, not backwards, and not staying in one place. You always move forward. You know, Srila Gurudev used to give the example of a flowing river. So any river is flowing quite rapidly. There's a current and there's a flow of that river, and the water is always going in that direction. But if something happens to that river, that gradually the flowing slows down, and then stops. and stays in that condition for some time, what happens to the water that was there? It becomes contaminated. It's no longer suitable water for drinking or anything. It's contaminated water. Okay? So that's why Gurudev says bhakti is like a river, and bhakti always has to keep flowing, not stopping, not slowing down, flowing, flowing, flowing. So when we talk about success, there are many, many different definitions of success according to the consciousness level of human beings, and what to speak of animals. But the human beings who are completely on the materialistic level, what's their definition of success? Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Prabhupada always told the same things that the animals consider successful. When I sit on my veranda looking out in the morning time, there's usually a few of the neighborhood dogs down there. And I get to see the birds chirping and flying from tree to tree, you know, and then there's a few cats, you know. But I think that dog is very contented, because that dog is lying on the pavement and is feeling that, yes, now I can sleep. And they feel that and they're how do you say, they're constructed in that way. They're programmed in that way by nature, that they'll sleep all throughout the whole day. They're sleeping and then getting up and then again sleeping, then getting up, then eating something, then like this. And then when some other dogs that are from another section, just a couple hundred meters down the road, if they come by, these dogs, they'll start defending. They'll start barking and barking. You cannot convince them to not bark. They will bark. You cannot stop them. You cannot reason with them. They see that this other dog is a threat because they'll try to take our food. So that becomes a competition. So eating and sleeping. And then mating, they're doing that automatically by the impetus implanted in every living entity by the material nature. Is there any living entity that is not reproducing offspring? No. Of all the 8,400,000 species of life, any living entity, whether they're in an insect body, whether they're in the body of a microbial germ size, whether they're in the body of an elephant, whatever body they have, they're mating. They're reproducing offspring. And they have family life they have family life. Even ants. They have entire kingdoms that they establish with different authority systems, or bumblebees, like all of this. Where does that come from? Where does the intelligence come from? From the Paramatma in the heart. So these living entities wanted to go into experience all these different situations. So they come into the material world created by Krishna to give them an opportunity to be independent from him. But of course that's not really possible to be independent from Krishna, because Krishna is everywhere, he is everything, his energy is everything, and he's even in the heart of every living entity, but he covers the consciousness with Maya, so the living entity can dream and think that they're independent. But it's all illusion. And when we come into the human body, those same propensities are there: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Okay? So, depending on the consciousness level, the living entities have different priorities in life. But those who are materialistic and they want to enjoy sense gratification, then they need to do Dharma, Artha, and Kam. Human beings need Dharma, Artha, Kam. And that means they have some kind of belief in God, some kind of belief in a source, a higher power, a controller, like this. They have some belief system. And then when it's more developed, then it becomes that belief system is based upon Vedic knowledge. But even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told to Rupa Goswami that out of all the different species of human beings, about half of them are uncivilized. So there's 400,000 species of human beings in our universe. 4 lakhs of species of humans. Okay, and on this planet we see a few different species of humans. But in the whole universe there's 400,000. And then Mahaprabhu told Srila Rupa Goswami that half of them are uncivilized. That means they have no religious system and they're not connected with Vedic knowledge. They're uncivilized. But then he says of the civilized, then some are following Veda and some are following some upadharmas, like Buddhism or like that, Christianity, Muslim. But those who are follower of the Vedas, then Mahaprabhu said they're also divided. Those who are followers of the Vedas are divided into 2 categories. One category is that they only pay lip service. That's the way it's described. They say, oh yes, I'm Hindu. Oh yes, I'm Hindu. I follow the Vedas, this, that. But they don't actually live it. They don't live it. They don't apply it in their life. They don't follow it. You see. So then the other half are followers of the Vedas. But what is their objective by following the Vedas? They actually try to apply the knowledge of the Vedas, but because they have the priority that they want to enjoy sense gratification with a material body, they want to go to the highest level of sense gratification. Now what is that? Yeah, Swargaloka. So therefore the Vedas give encouragement. They give encouragement. For those persons that want to go to the heavenly planets, they should worship different devata, different demigods. And they can have their desires fulfilled. But will that solve the ultimate problem of life? What is the ultimate problem of life? They don't actually even know. They know, but they don't know that this is the recurring problem of life that has to be solved. But the ordinary people, they have no idea that they're rotating in the cycle of birth and death. And when this body's finished, then they got to take another body. And then they got to go through it again, and again, and again. Most people have no idea that this is going on. Watch any news, look into any kind of philosophical discussions or political discussions, this or that. And they have no idea what comes after this life. What happens after this life? They have no idea. So what is that called? It's called ignorance. Avidya. And the living entities are covered by ignorance. So this pathway of Bhakti Yoga is a pathway of pure transcendental knowledge, which will destroy this avidya that we are suffering from for so many lifetimes. There's more to say about all that, but I'm digressing a little bit. Main point I want to make is that depending on the consciousness level, people will have different priorities. So we can see, even in the devotional community, the devotees in general, those who are sincere devotees, they want to actually live the life of being a devotee, but yet they have material desires to fulfill. So they try to do that in a regulated fashion by coming into the Grihastha ashram and so on, like that. So on that level, they can make spiritual advancement because they're going according to the Varnashram system. They're following that, and by doing that, one gradually becomes purified. But that is not the solution, just following the Varnashram system. That will take a very, very long time, many, many lifetimes. Therefore, in this Kali Yuga of of Danya Kali Yuga in which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has descended. He has descended to give the high-speed process. Srila Sridhar Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj said, he said it's like an express train. You know, you can get on a local train which stops constantly, or you can get on an express train that goes without stopping all the way. You see? So this system is like that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is given. No need to try to practice the ordinary, religious strictures of the Vedas and worship demigods and do all of that. No. Only Krishna. Only the Supreme Absolute Truth. You worship Him. No one else. Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. Bhaktir Uttama. This is the process. And if somebody follows this process, studies it under guidance, that's what Gurudev is going to really stress. I've been reading this book. It's an amazing book. Actually, I never knew how amazing it was. These lectures of Gurudev's. Secret Truths of the Bhagavatam. Amazing. So, I wish that we had time to read through all the different chapters, but that will take a long time. That will take a long time. But because Krishna Janmashtami is the day after tomorrow, therefore, we're going to hear the advice of our Gurudev and the purposes and reasons for which Krishna descended into this world. So I'm just going to begin on chapter 1. These are from the lectures that Gurudev gave. And he's talking about the first shloka of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And the chapter 1 is titled, I Meditate on the Absolute Truth. So why is it titled that? Because at the end of the first shloka it says, Satyam Param Dhimahi. I meditate upon the Supreme Truth. Satyam Param. So now Srila Gurudev is saying that on the first section, Inquiry by the Sages, that's the first chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Inquiry by the Sages. So Gurudev says, now I want to begin my classes. Now I want to begin my classes. And he's got the whole, at least 300, sometimes 400 devotees sitting in front of him on the top of this mountain in California, Badger, California, New Vraj. And Gurudev is now coming, probably for the third time, I think, 96, 97, 98. Third or fourth time. He says, now I want to begin my classes. I will start by explaining the first shlok of Srimad Bhagavatam. And then gradually I will come to the sweet pastimes of Krishna. Yes, I am not going to jump over the sweet pastimes of Krishna. The whole reason why I'm going to give these lectures is to come to the sweet pastimes of Krishna. Gurudev says, Srimad Bhagavatam states that once, at the very beginning of the Kali Yuga, when was that? 5,000 years ago. So the Srimad Bhagavatam is telling that once upon a time there were thousands of Maharishis, and devotees. Thousands. And they were assembled at a very pious place called Naimisharanya Forest. Yes. They were thinking in their minds how to save the world from the effects of Kali Yuga. Why? Why were they thinking that? Yes, they understood now Kali Yuga is coming and Dwapara Yuga is ending. And now we're seeing the symptoms of the Kali Yuga coming. So they were thinking, how can they save the world? Because that's what sages do. Sages don't only think about themselves, they think about the benefit of the entire human population. So they were thinking how to save the world from the effects of Kali Yuga. Gurudev says that the Kali Yuga is such an era that people quarrel among themselves for absolutely no reason. Quarreling. People quarrel for no reason. Who quarrels? Husband and wife, father and son, mother and daughter, brother and sister, and neighbors. And although there is no cause, still everyone quarrels. So Kali Yuga creates such misunderstanding that quarrel is bound to happen. Even with our own mind, we will quarrel. And our own soul, we will quarrel. So therefore, these Maharshis and these devotees were thinking about what to do. So, we're seeing what's going on in the world. Just very briefly want to mention about quarreling. Because quarreling ultimately results in what? Fighting. Yes? Quarreling by words. But then it ultimately, boom, 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 results in fighting. And because demons, satanic Rakshasa demons, are actually behind all the government systems and economic systems of the world, and they're manipulating and controlling it, and they want to reduce the population of the world, they don't care at all about killing millions and millions and even billions of people. And they incite wars for the sake of money, for profit. That's what's going on in Ukraine, where you're from. But all the Russians are all the same. These are brothers and sisters, Russians, Ukrainians. They have the same bloodlines, And so now this whole political thing has caused large-scale war and fighting and quarreling between persons who are actually related. They're not some other race. No, they're actually the same race. They're all the same. And because of that, now they want to cover over. They want to fool everyone that yes, we are fighting for freedom and liberation and all of that. But what they do is they lie and they cheat and they deceive everybody by their so-called projection of news on the radio, on the news. And they just deceive and lie to everybody. But there was no need for this war at all. But because it's Kali Yuga, therefore it goes on and the demons make a lot of money. And they kill off, now there's like 600 or 700,000 Ukrainian people that have died, and double that number of people that have been wounded for the rest of their lives because of this foolish war. So we see this going on large scales. When Srila Prabhupada was with us on the planet, there was a war going on for only money, that's all. What was it called? The Vietnam War. For many years. Then after that there's another war, Afghanistan war. Then after that, Korean war. And all of this, it just goes on and on and on. Because this is big money. And this Zelensky character, I don't even like to say his name, he's got like villas, millions and millions, hundreds of millions of dollars he has taken. And he's got these different locations. So let everybody else die, and I will play the role of being the president and caring about the Ukrainian people. But in the end, he's just working for these elite persons who are controlling all the money and are making money. And he goes and asks for more money, hundreds of billions of dollars. You see? It's all cheating, lying. Oh, but what will happen to those people who are doing that? They'll be punished by the laws of nature. We know that. They will be punished. And they will have to go down into the lower species of life and become insects for millions and hundreds of millions of years. Yeah, that's what will happen. Nobody escapes the laws of nature. No one. No one. No king, no pauper, no dog, no cat. All are under the laws of nature, and they have to pay for all of their adharmic activities. So cruelty against the human society, that's what they do, because they're demons. They don't care at all. So now these great rishis, all these great devotees were thinking what to do, because Kali Yuga is coming now. Kali Yuga is about to come. So then, at that time, there was one great devotee, and his name was Suta. But actually his name was Ugrashrava. Ugrashrava Suta. And he was the son of Romaharshan Suta, who was killed by Baladev. The father was killed by Baladev. That's a whole separate story. So this Ugrashrava Suta came into that assembly. And he was the disciple of Shukadev Goswami. Yes, when Shukadev Goswami spoke the whole Srimad Bhagavatam to Maharaj Parikshit in the assembly of 80,000 sages from all over the universe, Suta Goswami was there. Suta Goswami heard everything. Yes, he heard everything, and that's why he's called Ugra Shrava. That means someone whose hearing is so powerful hearing. They never forget. And everything goes directly into their heart. So, all the realized devotees, they all greeted. Shonaka Rishi was the head of all the sages, and they showed respect to Suta Goswami, and they began to ask questions to Suta Goswami. So this is like Gurudev's introduction, and then Gurudev begins to talk about the first shloka that is written by Vyasadeva, the very first verse of the whole Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Janmad Yasya Yaton Vayadi Taratas Charteshu Abhigya Swarat Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaye Muhyanti Yatsuraya Tejo Vari Mridam Yata Vinimayo Yatra Trisargo Mrisha Damna Svena Sada Nirasta Kuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi. Oh yes, a memory comes into my mind. 1970. I've been a devotee for like 3 months. And now I'm sent to Chicago with there's only a few devotees there, and we're going to try to start a temple. And we're going to start the temple in this big, huge city of millions of people. Huge, gigantic skyscraper buildings. And we're like 4, 5, 6 devotees. But every day we had our morning program, and then we had chores like temple, cleaning duties and so forth. So one day I was given the task to take everyone's laundry, their dirty clothing and everything, go to the laundromat. That's a shop that has washing machines. And put the laundry in and sit and wait, and then take the laundry out, then put it in the dryer, and then take it out like this. So I had about an hour or so that I could be there. And I remember the old Srimad Bhagavatams that Prabhupada personally printed in India. I had that with me. I brought that to the laundromat, and I opened it up to the first shloka of the Srimad Bhagavatam that I just recited. I began to study that verse, and I began to study the synonyms, the meaning of each word. Janmadi, Asya, Yataha, Advayad, Itaratas, Cha Arteshu, Abhigya Swarat. I'm studying. That was my first attempt to memorize this. So that was 54 years ago. And I still know this shloka. I haven't forgotten it. Sometimes I get a little bit, as our memory gets older, sometimes we forget the first word in a line or this or that. But most Prabhupada disciples know this shloka. And this is the invocation shloka of the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. And Gurudev is explaining also in his purports that actually this is a commentary. This first shloka is a commentary on the Gayatri Mantra. The Brahma Gayatri Mantra. It's a commentary on that. But there are different levels of meaning of this shloka. You see? When we read Srila Prabhupada's purports, he's giving us the clarified understanding of the explanation of the great acharyas like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and so forth, Sanatana Goswami, like this. So Srila Gurudev, he began his narration with introducing the Srimad Bhagavatam. And that's what he would do all the time. Whenever he would come to a festival where there's a larger group of devotees, and there are a good amount of those devotees are somewhat senior, then Srila Gurudev would choose the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. But sometimes he would start from the very beginning. And in these series of lectures, because it was third or fourth time that Gurudev was in Badger, and now many of the senior devotees, they know him. Now Gurudev wants to give them the deepest understanding of the Srimad Bhagavatam so they can begin to cultivate that in their own private bhajan. So Srila Gurudev says his own Mangala Charana, Om Jnana Timirandasya, and all those shlokas. And then he tells to all the devotees, try to hear very patiently. Try to hear very patiently with deep honor and respect. And try to understand. Do not do any work during this class. Allow your mind to be controlled by my words. Give up all other activities like sleeping or anything else, and give me your ears, give me your hands, all your senses, only for a few minutes. And afterwards, you're free to do as you like. Do not sleep and do not yawn. Sleepiness may come, but try to control it. Sit straight so that sleep will not come. You should hear very patiently, and you should hear with all of your energy focused. Now he says the first words, Janmad Yasya Yataha. So what does that mean? Because the words Janmad Yasya Yataha, it means the primeval or the original cause of all causes, of the whole creation, the sustenance and the destruction of the manifested universes. That's the meaning of Janmadi Asya. So Srila Vyasadeva is offering pranam, his obeisances. To whom? To whom is he offering his obeisances? He does not actually say the name of Sri Krishna in this shloka. But all the symptoms of the worshipable object of his pranam, they actually apply only to Krishna and no one else. So now Gurudev says, but they apply to which Krishna? To which Krishna? Which Krishna? They do not apply to the Krishna of Mathura or to the Krishna of Dwarka. But they only apply to that Krishna who is the source of all of the others. Who is that? Nandanandan Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj Krishna in Braj. Yashoda Nandan Krishna, Brajendra Nandan Shyama Sundar. That's which Krishna this first shloka is addressing. Not the Krishna of Mathura and not the Krishna of Dwarka. Why? Do you know why? Huh? Yeah, this is the ultimate source of everything. But who is that ultimate source? Only Nandanandan Krishna and Braj. He's the original, and in his planet, Goloka Vrindavan, in the center of the whorl, it's shaped like a lotus flower, you all know that, and in the middle is this whorl. And there is Braja. That is the highest place in the whole creation, and there Krishna lives as the son of Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. He is only known as that. And from him, in Braja, expands who? Balaram comes in Braja. He's also eternally lives in Braja. Then Krishna and Balaram, in their earthly pastimes, when they came 5,000 years ago, then they left Braj. Around the age of 11, 12 years old, they left on the chariot. And they didn't come back for decades. For so long. Not externally. But who was it that got on that chariot? What? Yes, Vasudev Krishna. And who? Devaki Nandan Baladev. Okay? Yes. So those are expansions. That Krishna and that Balaram are expanded from the original Krishna. And this is very essential to understand. Anyone who is in this sampradaya, and they don't understand that Nandanandan Krishna is the supreme absolute truth, and nobody is equal to him, not even his own expansions. They're not equal to him. He is in the highest position. And his transcendental kingdom where he lives, he's the son of the king. He's not the king. He's the prince. Yes. The son of Maharaj Nanda. And he doesn't have any kind of, kingly duties to come and sit on a throne and hear about the condition of all of this. No. He only herds cows and plays with his friends, the gopas and gopis. That's all he does. Why? Because Krishna is the ocean of rasa. He is the source of all rasa, loving, ecstatic affection and love. So when he expands into his Vasudev feature, he doesn't bring his flute with him. He doesn't bring his peacock feather with him. He doesn't bring his pitambara with him. No, they stay there. They never leave Braj. Krishna, who holds the flute, never leaves Braj. But his expansion goes. So, that expansion is Krishna. He's directly Krishna, but he's not the original Krishna. That's very important to understand. And his pastimes are also mixed. Like, for example, he speaks the Bhagavad Gita. Did Nandanandan Krishna speak the Bhagavad Gita? Do you ever see that Krishna is going to sit down with his flute in Braj and now start to give a discourse on the Bhagavad Gita? No. That's his expansion who spoke Bhagavad Gita. Why? For the benefit of all the conditioned souls. For their benefit. Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita for all time. And he does it continually. Throughout all the universes, in every day of Brahma, he comes and speaks Bhagavad Gita. And that's many millions of years. billions actually, that Krishna comes, speaks Bhagavad Gita. That's why it's called Bhagavad Gita, means the song of Bhagavan. But Krishna is the Param Bhagavan. He is the supreme Bhagavan. So Krishna speaks Bhagavad Gita. And in the Bhagavad Gita he says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanama dharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. In the 4th chapter. He's explaining there why he comes to this world. Why he descends to this world. And the first thing he says is, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir. Whenever there is a decline, going down of dharma, and adharma is rising up. Abhyutanam adharmasya. Whenever that happens, I come. I descend. So is that the Krishna who's eternally in Braja enjoying with the gopis? He's going to have to come and do that work? No. He expands himself. And then he says, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya tajaskritam. He says, I kill the demons and I save my devotees. That's what I do. Now, do we see Krishna killing demons in Braja? You hear that Krishna killed these demons. But did the Nandanandan Krishna actually kill those demons? No, this is a secret. This is secret knowledge. Because in Krishna, even though Vasudeva Krishna, has left, but he's always there inside of Krishna. All of Krishna's expansions and avatars, they're always inside of Krishna. They only come out from Krishna, and then they again enter Krishna. So when there are demons that need to be killed in Krishna's Braj Leela pastimes, like Putana, Trinavarta, Agasur, all these different demons, ultimately Kamsa. But in Braj, who is killing those demons? It's actually Vasudeva Krishna who does the killing. But it looks like Krishna killed. The Nandanandan Krishna killed. But it's actually Vasudeva Krishna who killed the demons. Anyway, these are things that we should know and understand. So that's why Gurudev is saying that from the very beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is describing that the first verse is only pertaining to Nandanandan Krishna and no one else. So now Gurudev this is the section that tells all the different reasons why Krishna descends. And there's a whole big long list. We're going to read those. So why did Krishna descend to this world? And Gurudev is talking not just about Nandanandan Krishna, but also Vasudeva Krishna, who appeared in Mathura as the son of Devaki and Vasudeva. So why did Krishna descend to this world? So the first reason is what is told in the very beginning of the 10th canto. Prithvi Devi. You know Prithvi? Prithvi means the earth. So Mother Earth, in the form of a cow. So she went to see Lord Brahma, who is the creator. And many demigods went along with her. And actually Brahma is only the external creator of this world. He's like a manager. So Prithvi told him, "Oh, recently my 4 legs were broken and I cannot walk. And my husband Dharma," that's the bull, religion personified, "who has taken the shape of a bull, he also cannot walk." So now Gurudev is explaining. Nowadays, there is so much sin in this world. Both the men and the women are like animals. Yeah, human beings are like animals. So-called saintly persons, so-called, not real, fake saintly persons and sannyasis do not observe the rules of saintly life, and they are therefore more wretched than animals. We see that in India everywhere. Huh? And they make an artificial show of saintliness with very big neck beads. And how many kg japamala bag? 5 kg japamala and very big chilak. They do. But at the same time, these so-called saintly persons, they are full of duplicity, cheating, deception. They are absorbed in making money, and they are full of lust. And because of this, we have so many problems. Now Prithvi, she told to Brahma, please save me, and please save my husband Dharma. So then Brahma became very worried, very concerned, and he went with Prithvi and the demigods to the shore of the ocean of milk, the Kshir Samudra. And there he began to do aradhana, to worship Garbhodakshai Vishnu. And in his trance, he heard the reply to his prayers. He said, in the reply to his prayers, he said, I already know of this situation. Lord Vishnu is telling. I already know. And my Prabhu, Garbhodakshai Vishnu's Prabhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, he is also aware. And he will very quickly descend, very soon. Now all you demigoddesses, in the form of earthly ladies, you should descend to earth, and you should take birth in Gokul, Vrindavan, and Mathura. And all you demigods should descend in the form of Gopas, and also Yadus. And Krishna will appear very soon. So this is one reason. This is one reason why Krishna descended. Do you want to hear the next reasons? Second reason. The time had come, because universal time is always moving. So now the time had come to do what? To re-establish, to establish the Yuga Dharma. Do you know what that means? Yuga Dharma? Do you know what Yuga Dharma means? What?
Each yugas will have dharma, special religious principles for every yugas.
How many yugas are there?
4.
4. And in each yuga, they have a specific Yuga Dharma, right?
Yes.
So who introduces the Yuga Dharma? Because the Yuga Dharma has not been given yet. As the yugas keep on rotating, now when the yuga, at a certain time in each yuga, then a yuga avatar will appear of Vishnu. And he will, by his own example, he will teach what is the process for God realization in this particular age, this particular yuga. So, here, Gurudev is saying that what was the Yuga Dharma at that time? 5,000 years ago. What was it? It was deity worship. Okay, and the Yavanas, that means outcast from the Vedic system. Yavanas and others were destroying temples, like the Muslims have destroyed so many temples, and they're still doing it now. They want to destroy temples. So they were destroying temples. But the process of the Yuga Dharma is deity worship, temple worship in the Dwapara Yuga. But the people had no faith in the deities. And the standard of worship was the worst that it had ever been. So in order to save the situation, Krishna appeared in this world. And he brought within him, inside of him, he brought the Yuga avatar, he brought the Manu, the Manvantar, and also all other incarnations like Narayan, Ram, Nrsimha, Kalki, Vamana, all incarnations. Krishna descended with them, inside of him. And okay, now there were also other reasons for Krishna's descent. Jai and Vijay. So Jai and Vijay had been cursed to do what? Yeah. For 3 births they had to stay. They had been cursed. By who? 4 Kumaras. So they had to come into the world as demons and take birth. Now, in their 3rd birth, when Krishna was on the planet, because who are the other 2? The 3 births. Huh? Yes. Yes, Hiranyakashipu is the first. And who killed them? Who killed Hiranyaksha?
Varahadev.
Huh? Who?
Varahadev.
Yes, Varaha. Who killed Hiranyakashipu?
Nrsimhadev.
Lord Nrsimhadev. And they were brothers. Then the second birth was who?
Lila Rama.
Huh? Huh?
Lila's Rama.
Who? Who did they take birth as in Ram's Leela?
Ravana.
Ravana and his brother who?
Forget his name.
Huh?
Ravana and his brother.
His brother. He was very big. When he came on the battlefield, he destroyed thousands. Very big. Kumbhakarna. That's the brother of Ravana. So who killed them?
Hanuman.
No. No, he killed many others. But who killed Ravana? Who killed Ravan?
Ramachandra.
Ramchandra. And who killed Kumbhakarna? Ram. Yes. Then the 3rd birth. This is after a few millions of years. Now they took birth in Krishna's pastimes as who?
Shishupala.
Shishupala and who?
And
Dantavakra. Shishupal and Dantavakra. So, now Krishna had to come to liberate them. That's another reason. How did he kill Shishupal? In what place did he do that?
100 times he...
Place. Where did he do that?
One place, palace.
A palace.
Yes.
And who was in the palace?
Many.
Yes, many kings. This was a very big gathering. And in that palace, during that gathering, Shishupal began to insult Krishna with his mouth, with his words.
100 times.
He began to insult Krishna. And all the people were wondering, why is Krishna not stopping him? Do you know why Krishna was not stopping Shishupal?
Because 100 times he waiting for 100.
Why? Why waiting?
Before was some lila.
Some Leela, yeah. Was Shishupal
Small.
born in the family of the Yadu dynasty? Yes. Was Shishupal related? Did he have a family relation with Krishna? With the Dwarkadish Krishna? Yes. I forget exactly what it was. I think it was like his sister or some son. The son. Anyway, the mother of Shishupal requested Krishna, look, my son is very bad. And he will always try to insult you. He has so much envy towards you. So please don't kill him. Don't kill him. So then Krishna said, okay, I will tolerate. I will tolerate his insults, but only up to 100 insults. And when the 100th insult comes, I will finish him. So that's why Krishna was not killing him, but he was openly criticizing Krishna in the assembly and saying all kinds of false things about Krishna. And Krishna's sitting on the throne and he's listening, he's hearing. But then when the next number, then 99, then 100, then what happened? Sudarshan Chakra came, Krishna went and sliced off his head. And then that person went back to Vaikuntha because they were eternal associates, but they had to come as demons. And Dantavakra later on became killed by Krishna also. That's there in 10th canto. So, that's another reason, because Jai and Vijay had been cursed. So Krishna had to come to liberate them. You understand? There's so many different reasons why Krishna came. Now, Gurudev goes on. He says, Krishna also came to fulfill the promises that he had made when he was on the earth in his incarnation of Lord Ramachandra. What promises did Lord Ram make? Here's the story. Ram went to Dandakaranya forest with Sita and Lakshman when they were in exile. And they wanted to carry out the orders of his father, Dasarati Ram, Dasarat. So there, in that forest, Dandakaranya, he dressed as a sadhu. Because this is when they were first banished from the palace. So they had to enter into the forest and they had to stay for 14 years. So now they just began to live like forest dwellers, and they dressed just very simple cloth, like sadhu, and their hair became jata. That means matted hair. Okay? And this Lord Ram was so beautiful. He was a teenager, about 16 years old. So at that time, in that forest, there were 60,000 sages who were performing worship, aradhana, service to who? To Radha Krishna, conjugal, in their meditation. And also to Lord Ram and to others. How were they doing it? By reciting mantras. They had been chanting the Gopal mantra. And here Gurudev says, that is Gopi Jana Balabhaya Svaha. They had been chanting for thousands of years. So during that long period of time, although the practices of these sages were somewhat weak, but they did not become like fish, which die as soon as they are taken out of water. Their practices, they were much superior to yours, Gurudev is telling to all the devotees. But still, in comparison to the highest level, they were somewhat weak. So, then Gurudev addresses his audience of devotees. Now you can, as you're hearing this, you should think Gurudev is talking to you personally. Yes. Understand? Gurudev is talking to you. So now Gurudev is sitting in front of his 400 devotees, and he says, your practices are also very weak. Sometimes you chant your Gayatri Mantra, sometimes you do not. Sometimes you sit awake to chant, sometimes you fall asleep. If you think about all your problems instead of concentrating on the mantras, your chanting of mantras will become like zero. And you will fall asleep. And at that time, big problems will come quickly. Well, this is Gurudev telling. So these sages, they were performing their somewhat weak practices. But when they saw Ram in person, and when Ram glanced upon them, they became so inspired. They began to pray to him, please fulfill our desires. And Ram also perfectly knew that they had been worshipping Radha Krishna conjugal. He knew that. He knew that their ultimate heart's desire was to serve Radha and Krishna, the divine couple of Braja. And Ram also knew that they wanted to participate in the Ras Leela and also in other Leelas with Krishna. So he therefore kindly and mercifully, he told to those sages, in my next birth, I will be Krishna. And there in Braj, by the help of Yogamaya, you will take birth from the womb of a gopi. And at that time, you can meet with me and I will fulfill your desires. So those sages continued with their practices for a very long time. From the time of the appearance of Ram to the appearance of Krishna. That's hundreds of thousands of yugas, Gurudev says. So do you not think that in a moment that you can get pure bhakti as easily as you can get laddus and rasgullas? Is it difficult to get a laddu and a rasgulla? Is it difficult to get a laddu or a rasgulla? What do? You pick it up and that's all. Okay? Is that difficult? So Gurudev is saying, do you really think that in just a few moments that you can get pure bhakti as easily as you can get laddus and rasgullas? And then he mimics the devotee, how the devotee is thinking. Oh Guru Maharaj, you gave me the mantras, but still I have not realized that I am in Goloka Vrindavan. I want to be in Vrindavan now. So now Gurudev says, do you know who Valmiki Rishi is? Valmiki? Valmiki Rishi, who is he?
Who wrote Ramayana.
Yes, he wrote the Ramayana. So, Valmiki Rishi, he took initiation from Narada Muni. And then he engaged in very severe austerities for 60,000 years. And then he became self-realized. Valmiki. But then Gurudev compares us. He says, but you do not want to follow all these things. You don't want to follow, like chanting your mantras. So Srila Swami Maharaj, our Prabhupada, he gave some of you initiation into the Gayatri Mantra. So for 1 day, 2 days, 1 month, or some years, you practiced. But then after, you became weak. And especially after his departure, you left your chanting, you stopped chanting. You have no faith in these mantras. You will have to practice them. And it may be that it will take 2, 3, 4, 5, or so many births. It may take so many births. But our good fortune is that in this Kali Yuga, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came to sprinkle his mercy. So we can therefore chant with some hope that very soon we can become realized souls. So do not worry. After Gurudev said all that, he said, do not worry. Go on practicing like the Dandakaranya rishis. So now, when Krishna descended, these Dandakaranya rishis took birth from the womb of the gopis. And they also became gopis. And then later they worshipped a demigoddess named what? Katyayani. For a long time they worshipped in order to get Krishna as their husband. And then what did Krishna do? He came there and their desires were fulfilled. And what did Krishna do? He stole their clothing and made them come out of the water, because only the husband can see the wife in that way. So Krishna fulfilled these rishis. Now they're in the bodies of small girls, you know. And they don't remember that we were old men, rishis, thousands of years. No. But now Krishna fulfilled their desire. Actually, Ramchandra gave them this blessing. So then Krishna had to come, and it was for this reason also that Krishna descended. Do you understand? There's so many reasons why Krishna had to descend. To fulfill this promise, to complete. So in the same way, this process will bear fruit for you. You want fruit from the tree? Yes. If the fruit is on the tree, how are we going to benefit? Just by the fruit being on the tree? Huh? No. We can't benefit with the fruit on the tree. The fruit has to fall off the tree, become fully ripe, fall off the tree, and we have to eat it. Then we can get the fruit. So Gurudev is saying that this process will bear fruit for you. It will. It will bear fruit for you. So, but for this process to bear fruit for you, you must do one-pointed Krishna bhajan and engaging in all the practices of bhakti. For in order to get that fruit, you must do that. And then there is yet even another reason for Krishna's descent. Here it is. When Ram went to Janakpuri, what is Janakpuri? Janakpuri is where Maharaj Janak, who is the father of who? Sita Devi. So, yes. So when Ram went to Janakpuri, then the Rajkumaris, all the princesses there, they became so attracted to Lord Ram, they became charmed to see him. And when they saw that Sita was married to him, all of those other princesses, they witnessed that Sita accepted Ram as her husband. So all those princesses, they developed a very strong desire also in their heart. Oh, if Ram would also marry us, then it would be so good. We want Ram to become our husband. We will not marry anyone else. And with this determination, they never married. Ram was so pleased. And then he told them, you will take birth in Dwapara Yuga from the womb of a gopi. Then many years later, Ramachandra ordered Sita to leave his palace. You know the whole Ramayan story. She had to be banished to the forest. And then Sita Devi left. She lived alone in whose ashram? Valmiki Rishi again, who wrote the Ramayana. And there she gave birth to Ram's twin sons. Do you know their names? Who are the twin sons of Lord Ram? That's Sita Devi. They're twins. Love and Kush. That's their names. Love and Kush. So, so Ram stayed in his palace, and Sita stayed in the forest. And for certain reasons, the king had left his queen. But Ram never left his dear Sita. Externally, the king had to leave the queen, but Ram never left Sita in his heart. And although he remained in his palace, he always remembered her. His days passed with very great difficulty. It was difficult. Ram felt so much separation that sometimes he would speak with his guru, with his priest, Vashishta Muni. And then once, Ram requested Vashishta, I want to perform a fire sacrifice. I want to perform an Ashvamedha Yagya, or any other Yagya Ram wanted to do. So he told his guru, please allow me to do this. So Vashishta replied to him, because you have left your wife, you cannot perform any type of sacrifice. Because a king has to have his wife at his side by all the rules of the Shastras in order to do a yagya. So then the Vashishta told him, yes, you should bring her back and sit beside her. Only then you can do the sacrifice. And then Ram told his guru, oh, that cannot be. Cannot be. Please make another arrangement so that I can perform the sacrifice. And then Vashishta Rishi said, then like your father married 360 wives. So you can also marry again, he told to Ram. I think that there are many beautiful ladies in the world who would want to marry you. They would readily, easily marry you. Then Ram said, no, I cannot marry anyone else. And then Vashishta said, oh, then you cannot perform the sacrifice. And then Ram insisted, please somehow arrange it. So you know what the arrangement was? Vashishta Muni told him, you can make a golden statue of Sita. And with that Sita, you can sit and perform the sacrifice. So each year, every single year, following one after the other, Ram had one murti of Sita that he made. And these deities were installed by mantra. They were installed by mantra, by both Vashishta and Ram himself. So by their invocation, these deities actually became alive. They were living. They're not just statues. So in Ram's last days, just before his pastimes were finishing in this world, before his pastimes came to a close, then he was about to go to a Prakat Ayodhya. That means his spiritual abode in the eternal spiritual world. And then at that time, all those deity forms of Sita, there were hundreds, maybe a few thousand deity forms of Sita made of gold. And they all came to him. And they told him, we want to go with you. We want to be with you forever. So then Ram replied, in this incarnation, I can only accept one Sita. Only one Sita will remain with me. And you now are so many. So you should go to Vrindavan and take birth from the wombs of gopis. And there I will manage everything and I will fulfill all your desires. So Krishna also had to come for that reason. Understand? Then another reason, another cause for Krishna's coming. Do you know who Suparnaka is? Suparnaka? She is the sister of Ravana. Suparnaka. She's a demoness. She wanted to marry Lord Ram. There's a whole story in the Ramayana, how she came. And because Ram is like a desire tree, so he had to fulfill her desire. Because he's a desire tree. So he did so by directly associating with her in her next birth. And who is she born as in the next birth? Kubja. You know Kubja? In Mathura, there was a lady named Kubja. She was hunchbacked. Okay? So this is the same Suparnaka. She took birth like that. And then by mystic power, Suparnaka was able to assume many beautiful forms, and she could allure many men. So Lord Ram considered, because I have accepted her in this life, no one else may marry her, meaning in that life as Suparnaka. So he therefore ordered Lakshman cut off her nose, because men don't like to marry women whose noses are cut off. It's not very attractive. So, yes. So then in her next life, she became Kubja. And 8 parts of her body, they were bent. 8 parts of her body were bent. Therefore, in that life also, no one married her. Her face was very beautiful, but her entire body was crooked and bent. Like a hunchback, we call in English language, hunchback. Right? But when Krishna touched her, it's there in the 10th canto, she became straight. And at that time her wishes were fulfilled. And for this reason also Krishna descended. There's a whole story how Krishna came to her home, and she was a society girl, and Krishna gave her an embrace and removed all of the lust from her heart. And in this way now she could become purely devoted to Krishna. Now Narada Muni was another cause of Krishna's descent. Yeah, we have 15 more minutes. So once during Narada's travels, he saw the 2 sons of Kuvera, Nala Kuvera and Manigriva. Who is Kuvera?
Who keep gold of all.
Yeah, Kuvera. And Kuvera is a great devotee. But his 2 sons, they were rascals. They were playing with many of the heavenly Apsara girls. Now what is an Apsara girl? Do you know? What are they? Apsara.
They like kurtizanki.
Huh? Speak into the mic so I can hear you.
They kurtizanki.
Courtesan.
Yes, courtesan.
No, these are heavenly girls. These are heavenly damsels. They live in the heavenly planets. And they associate freely with the other demigods, because that's what they want to enjoy in the heavenly planets. So these Apsaras are very beautiful. Very, very extremely beautiful. Hundreds of times more beautiful than Miss America, Miss Russia, Miss Universe. Millions of times more beautiful, these Apsaras. So this Nala Kuvar and Manigriva, they were playing. What were they doing? They were playing in the water. And then they were coming out of the water. But they were naked, and so were the ladies. They were like trees, naked. They were drinking wine. And they had no shame at all. So when Narada came along the path, all the girls, they became ashamed. And they folded their hands, they covered themselves with garments, and they prayed to Narada from far away. But the two men, these Nala Kuver and Manigriva, they were completely mad, they were intoxicated on wine, and they began abusing both the girls and Narada. They called out, "Why has this old man come here and disturbed everything?" So being very merciful, Narada thought, these are the sons of my friend Kuvera. So Narada was on his way to meet Kuvera, but when he saw Kuvera's sons who were so degraded, he thought, I should punish them. So therefore he cursed them. You should become trees. You are behaving like trees, so you should become trees. And as soon as they understood, we are going to be trees, they fell flat at Narada's lotus feet. And what I have foretold, it will certainly come true, he told them. It will certainly come true, even though they fell at his feet. But you will become trees in Gokul, where Krishna will take birth, and he will perform so many sweet pastimes. He will touch you, and you will be liberated. Not only that, you will also attain bhakti, and you will become Krishna's transcendental associates forever. So although Narada Muni cursed them, but when they fell at his feet, then he modified his curse so that they would become supremely fortunate, and they would actually attain bhakti for Krishna, and they will become eternal associates of Krishna. So Krishna also descended to fulfill Narada's foretelling. And Krishna also came to perform Ras Leela. Yes. And the personified Upanishad mantras, the Vedic Upanishads, they also take a human form. They had been performing austerities and chanting the Gopal mantra and the Kam Gayatri mantra in order to become gopis. These personified Upanishad. They're called the Upanishad Chari Rishis. So, in order to become gopis, they were always doing austerities, chanting Gopal mantra, Kam Gayatri mantra. And by their chanting, they became gopis in their next birth. And they became known as Upanishad Chari Gopis, and Krishna accepted them as his beloveds. So there are two types of devotees who, by chanting mantras and performing austerities, these two types of devotees were accepted by Krishna. And what are they called? Yotaki and Ayotaki. The word Yotaki means a group. Like the rishis were all together in a group. So there are two different types of worshippers of Krishna. Some of them are Yotaki, meaning that they worship together in a group. And the others are called Ayotaki, which means that they only are by themselves or with one or two others. That's Ayotaki. So those who are in groups, those who are not, they're known by these two names. So by this history, we see that these mantras, these are very high class and very powerful. Never neglect them. Never neglect these mantras. Now once, Krishna and Arjuna were out traveling. Then Krishna said, "Oh Arjuna, I am so thirsty. Bring water from the Yamuna." No, he said, bring water from somewhere. From somewhere. Krishna told to Narada. Or sorry, to Arjuna. Krishna told to Arjuna, I'm so thirsty. Bring water from somewhere. So then, while looking for water, Arjuna saw some birds that were going toward the Yamuna. And upon reaching the Yamuna, he saw that Yamuna river, she was flowing very sweetly. Her water was very pure and clear. And he also saw an old lady there. And that old lady had white hair. She was very old, white color hair. And she was in complete samadhi trance. Then Arjuna circumambulated her. He offered his pranam to her, and after some time she returned to external consciousness. Then Arjuna asked her, "O mother, who are you? And why are you meditating in this place? No one is here. What are you doing here on the bank of the Yamuna?" Then the lady replied with great respect, "I have been doing Aradhana, worship here for hundreds and thousands of years. I want to be a gopi in Vrindavan, and I want to serve Radha and Krishna conjugal." Then Narada kindly gave me Gopal mantra and Kam Gayatri mantra, so I have been worshipping here with these mantras. Then Arjuna returned to Krishna, and he told Krishna what had happened. Then Krishna then went to the elderly lady and mercifully blessed her. So these are some of the reasons for Krishna's descent to this world. There are so many stories and so many reasons that it would take about 10 days to explain them all. So in this way, Srila Gurudev came to the meaning of the first shloka, which we cannot do that today, that Janmadhyasya shloka. And in the course of this chapter, he explained the meanings of that shloka. But there are different levels of meanings. And you know how many there are? 5. There are 5 levels of meanings to that first shloka. So first, Srila Gurudev is explaining the usual understanding of the meaning of the shloka. And then after that, he explained it in terms of Radha and Krishna. He explained it in terms of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Very, very interesting. We can read some of that on Janmashtami Day. What do you think? Would that be good to read? Just that section. And we'll also read about Krishna's birth and on Janmashtami Day. And then there's the 4th meaning, which is Radhika by herself, just Radhika alone. And then there's the 5th meaning, which is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that way Gurudev explained in this first chapter, which is titled, I Meditate on the Absolute Truth. And then the second chapter, the second lecture, is Srimad Bhagavatam does not cheat. And then he's talking about the second shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam, and also the third shlok, Nigamakalpataror Galitam Phalam. Then the third chapter is titled The Process of Hearing. The 4th chapter is Krishna and the Gopis. The 5th chapter is Krishna leaves Vrindavan. 6th chapter, the great fortune of the Gopis. And the 7th chapter, Come with me to Vrindavan. So in that way, this book is comprised of these 7 lectures of Gurudev in Badger, California. And then the part 2 is an explanation of 4 different songs. Gurudev, where did he explain them? He explained them in the houses of the devotees. Like he went across the road to Pran Kishore's house, and he explained the Yasomati Nandan song like that. So the 4 songs that are all written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur are, first one, Yasomati Nandana, second one, Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya, third one, Amar Bolite Prabhu, and the 4th one, Manasa Deho Geho. So that's part 2 of the book, which is much, much shorter than part 1. And then part 3 is called Entering the Process. And these are separate lectures that they included in this book. And they are titled, like the first one, The Observance of the Purushottam Month. That was in 1999 that Gurudev went to Jagannath Puri. I wasn't there because I was sent to Russia for the first time, 1999, month of May. And this is in June of 1999. And then comes the observance of the Anakut festival at Giri Govardhan in New Braj, when Gurudev would do the Anakut festival every year. Still it goes on every year there in New Braj. And then a couple of other speeches, the high-class disciple, what is a real true disciple? Then the glory of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, then honoring devotees, and ripples in a pond. So that completes Gurudev's book, Secret Truths of the Bhagavatam. So now our Janmashtami festival is going to take place Posle Zavtra. Do you know the meaning of Posle Zavtra? Yeah? How about Posle Zavtra? And Posle Zavtra? Huh? No. Only Posle Zavtra. That means day after tomorrow. Zavtra means tomorrow. So today is Sunday the 25th of August. Tomorrow is Monday. We will have no class on Monday. But on Tuesday is the big day. Krishna Janmashtami Day. The 27th of August. And that Krishna Janmashtami Day, we will have class, but we will not have prasad. We will have to take prasad through our ears on that day, all the way until midnight. Then at midnight, we have to break that fast. Did you know that? You don't have the option. Did you know that? You have to break the fast, otherwise you're not observing Janmashtami. Because why is it that we fast until midnight? What's the reason? Yeah, that's the time that Krishna was born, at midnight. Yes. So if you're observing Janmashtami, then you have to break your fast at midnight, and you have to take Anukalpa. You have to break your fast. Or I suppose that if somebody's doing Nirjal, they can just take water. But you have to break your fast at midnight. Huh? Yes.
This must be only Ekadashi.
What?
To break fast with Ekadashi.
Yeah, you cannot take grains on Janmashtami. Although here on the calendar, they have a paran time for the next day, which is 9:32 a.m. But my understanding was that, it's required to break the fast. Even when I was with Srila Prabhupada in 1972, we were so fortunate to be with him at New Vrindavan, and that's when he was there for a little more than a week. And we observed Janmashtami and Vyas Puja Day, the day after, which is Prabhupada's appearance day, up on the tall hill at New Vrindavan. and they were called Bhagavad Dharma Discourses. And every night Srila Prabhupada was carried up there, in the beginning in a little Volkswagen Bug car, but then that car broke down, and then they began to carry him on palanquin. And that was wonderful, because both going up and coming back down after, we could follow Prabhupada as he's being carried on palanquin. And I can still remember how, the shining from the moon and stars on Prabhupada's lotus head. And we were all following along, and some devotees were carrying on the palanquin. So we were there with Srila Prabhupada for that Janmashtami day, and in those days we were all very, very young, and it was not easy to fast, but we sat with Prabhupada, and Prabhupada in the temple room, starting around Artik time, after Artik, then Prabhupada sat with us till midnight, hearing Krishna book and doing some occasional kirtans. For like 4 or 5 hours. So that was very interesting to be with Prabhupada. Prabhupada was fasting, we were all fasting, and then after the midnight artik, I don't remember if they had a bathing ceremony or not, but so then we broke our fast after that at midnight. I don't even remember if it was Ekadasi breakfast or regular. I think it was Ekadasi breakfast. I can't remember.
But on Wednesday we also have to fast till midday.
No. Who said?
Not just fasting.
No, absolutely not. Only fasting is done on Vishnu Tattva days. Did you know that? Vishnu Tattva days. Incarnations of Krishna. Like Lord Ram, his appearance day, Lord Krishna. But do we fast on Srimati Radhika's appearance day? No, we don't fast. And do you know why?
No Vishnu Tattva.
What?
Because she is not Vishnu Tattva.
Yeah, but why?
She is very merciful.
Yes, she's so merciful. On Radhastami day, we don't have to fast. We can take grains. So in that way, that's also coming up in 2 weeks, Radhastami day. And then the day after Janmashtami, we'll all be staying up till midnight, and then breaking our fast with the Ekadasi Mahaprasadam. And according to this calendar, if somebody wants to fast and not break their fast at midnight, there is a Paran time the next day. So that depends on you, but we will take the Ekadasi Prasad at midnight. And what is the next day after Krishna Janmashtami? Nanda Utsav. What's the meaning of Nanda Utsav?
Festival of Nanda Maharaj.
Means what? What was Nanda Maharaj's festival? What happened in the festival?
We celebrate birth.
Yes, how did he celebrate?
Big festival, big feast.
Big amount of cows.
Many cows.
Yeah, because he's a Vaishya. He's a king of the Vaishyas with lakhs of cows. So he gave many, many cows to the Brahmins. He gave gold. He gave cloth. He gave jewels. He's just distributing unlimitedly. He became so joyful that he just gave everything. So because Krishna took birth, so Nanda Maharaj became very joyful. And when a Vaishya king has a birth of a son, what to speak of the Supreme Lord himself? Oh, they like to distribute charity. And they're not poor. They have lots and lots of wealth. So that day is called Nanda Utsav because that's the day of the festival of Nanda Maharaj for Krishna's birth. And actually, Nanda Maharaj saw Krishna the next morning, that morning. He didn't see Krishna because Krishna was born at midnight. And then Yogamaya made everyone fall asleep, and then Vasudev was carrying Krishna from Mathura and exchanged and all of that. But in the morning when the light came, now Mother Yashoda was there in the maternity room, and she also was seeing Krishna for the first time. Yeah, it's a very beautiful description from the Ananda Vrindavan Champu. I'm going to read that. And also then after some time, Nanda Maharaj came in and saw Krishna for the first time. So that happened on the Nanda Utsav day. And on that day, you know who else took birth? My Prabhupada took birth on that day. He took birth on the day that Krishna's festival was from Nanda Maharaj, the day after Janmashtami. So we'll also glorify Srila Prabhupada and worship Srila Prabhupada on that day. And then in the middle of the day, we will take full prasadam on that Nanda Utsav day. We can also have breakfast in the morning if we desire. We can have something in the morning. And then we will come here to this room and have class. We'll try to start the class a little earlier, around 11. Start the kirtan and class. I have to find out and see if anybody is planning to come, like Madhukar or Chandrasekhar and his wife. Or I'll look into that and see if they're planning to come. But that's the program. And we'll have some cake a little bit later in the day for Srila Prabhupada. We'll celebrate his appearance day. And we'll have some special cake and ice cream. Yes or no? Yes? No?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. So that's the program. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Jai Shri Krishna Janmashtami ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Shri Krishna Chandra ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda 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 Gopala 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 Govinda Gopala Govinda Gopala Govinda Gopala Govinda Gopala Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya O Radhe 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 Jai 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 Shri Radhe O Radhe 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 Jai 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 Shri Radhe O Radhe 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 Jai 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 Shri Radhe 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 Jai 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 Shri Radhe Jaya Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Hari Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Hari Gaura He Gaura He Gaura He Gaura He Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Gaur Hari Bo Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jai Shri Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol Shri Krishna Janmashtami Ki Jai Shri Krishna Janmashtami Ki Jai Nanda Utsav Ki Jai Nanda Utsav Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol Om Brindai Tulsidebai Priyai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satchavachai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva Cha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. All glory to the assembled devotees. Sya Slava Savrafyam Sya Priyadanim. Hare Krishna.